Hi everyone, whether you're watching live or tuning in later, thanks for joining us for another episode of Talking with Tab. Today I'm joined by a nonprofit organization in our community that has 30 partner agencies and impacts more than 40,000 people locally. From Meals on Wheels and more to American Red Cross, United Way of Morgan County. It improves the lives of many in our area. With us, we have two great representatives of United Way of Morgan County, Brooke Rawlins. Brooke, thank you for joining us today. Brooke is the Director of Resource Development for the United Way of Morgan County, and she does a phenomenal job in spreading the message about the organization to our residents. We're also joined today by another involved member of our community, and that's Terry Welch. Terry, thank you so much for being here.
Well, no, thank you, Mayor. We're looking forward to the discussion today.
Yes, sir. Well, it's good to have you here. Of course, Terry is currently leading the charge as the yearly campaign chair for the United Way. And, we're just thrilled to have Terry and Janelle back in Decatur and greatly involved in the community. Whenever you first came back, we had a meeting and you said, man, we want to know how we can be involved in the community. And boy, here you are.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We certainly appreciate that. So just a couple of, we're just going to have a conversation. If that's all right, we'll just kind of take it that way. And I'm going to be kind of going from left to right. It's a little different. So help our viewers understand Brooke, why don't you help our viewers understand what is United Way?
United Way is an organization, like the mayor said, we support 30 partner agencies. Every single one of our partner agencies fills a very big hole in the community. They focus on income, they focus on health, education, basic needs. Our partner agencies all work together to help those that need help the most. And what we do is it's campaign season right now, and so we advocate for them. We partner with businesses, with individuals that can all come together to make sure that these partner agencies get the funds that they need to provide these vital services.
Okay. Now, I think one of the best way that I ever had of learning about how United Way works was get on the bus.
Oh, yes.
With COVID and such, are we back to getting on the bus, or are we?
We are back to getting on the bus.
Great. Good
Yes,
yeah.
And we want everyone to get on the bus. Get your company involved, your church group, your neighborhood, your friends. We all we need at United Way is a date and a time, and we provide that details. And what that is you visit 4 partner agencies over a 3-hour time, and you get to see firsthand the true impact of what our partners are doing. In fact, on the first day on my job here at United Way, actually the first minute I got on the bus, before I even got to know my coworkers or got to know the volunteers, I got on the bus. And I think I said the same thing that everyone else says, and that is, I had no idea. And so if you ever have the opportunity on the bus, do it.
Terry, have you been on the bus?
Well, I'll give you a little bit of a story.
Okay.
This isn't my first time to run the campaign. I ran the campaign when we were back here when I was in my other role as the site leader for VP. And that's when we started Get on the Bus.
Okay.
So I rode the very first bus
All right.
to the agencies. And what I tell people is, the agencies, and let's take last year, the agencies went through a difficult time like all of us because of COVID. But they became so creative in how they solved and still provided services to people that were in need in our community. People that are in our community, because that's what happens. These dollars stay in our community. They stay helping people that are struggling or run into a need like all of us do, the unexpected, and they have nowhere to turn. The first place that they can turn in our community is United Way, and United Way can then get them to the right agency for their needs to be met and continue. And I'll tell a story that back when I was here, we had the tornadoes that came through. It was a day that changed a lot of our lives.
Sure.
But you know the first place I turned to as the site leader to get help? I called United Way. And I asked them what services could they provide for our employees and our contractors. And most of those individuals never had a need for those services until that day. That's why I tell people, we don't know when we're gonna need them, but it's nice to have them around.
Sure, sure. And you mentioned your employees and your contractors, but I know just through one-on-one conversations that you were also concerned about your neighboring, our industrial partners. You were concerned about those around, and I certainly appreciate that.
We're a family here. You know, that's partly why Janelle and I came back.
Yeah.
It's the family, it's the community, it's the caring of the community.
Great, great. So United Way does a lot. Terry, tell us some of the other impacts the organization has in the community that we may not even know about.
Well, you know, if you think about, let's talk about the senior facility. I mean, these are people that are at a part of their life, and you think about all that they've given. But this gives them a place to come. It gives them a place to connect. It gives them solid meals. It gives them a place to continue to build and socialize. And, you know, because I'm getting of that age now, you know, you don't think about those kind of facilities being there and available to everyone. If you think about, you know, we talked about the Red Cross, but you think about the services that they've had to provide over the time here. The others that I'll say is that there's organizations that really, I think, hit the heart when you go around, is organizations that really help young children that get into very abusive situations, and their ability to help those children through those times. And you think about, that's a valuable resource in our community. Those are people that are going to grow up in our community, and we want them to be healthy, and we want them to be in our community working and contributing. And if United Way didn't support this kind of agency, what would happen to those kind of children?
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
Great
exactly.
story.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask a question, but I'm going to kind of lead the way with my favorite story, my favorite United Way story. And it goes back to get on the bus and what I learned. And then going out and actually with on Catna and Meals on Wheels,
Yeah.
and actually delivering the meals and the well checks that takes place. And so it's through a lot of our residents. If it were not for Meals on Wheels, there wouldn't be a well check to take place. Some of the residents wouldn't have anyone to check on them to make sure that they're okay, but to drop that meal off and to know that person's okay, that to me just really touched my heart to see how that works. Do you have a favorite United Way?
I agree with you completely. I had the opportunity also during COVID just to kind of help out a little bit to deliver some meals, and it is when you are there firsthand, and you're there to make sure that they get that nutritious meal, but they also get that welfare check, especially during times of loneliness and isolation.
Sure.
It really helps. There are so many stories from our partner agencies. I don't think I have a favorite, but I know I will say this. I will say I loved how during COVID our partner agencies pivoted a little. For example, Child Advocacy Center, you know, they never stopped providing those services for these children that have experienced abuse. They created a telehealth program where they were able to communicate with these children in a different way. The Community Free Clinic did the same thing. Community Action Partnership. I mean, I really could go on and how they took that need of you know, layoffs, of income reduction, of a lot of things that people, like y'all said a while ago, never expected to experience until by circumstance they were faced with a hardship that they've never had to ever thought would happen. And our partner agencies just completely stepped up to the plate. and part of United Way and part of what we do is we do not put a Band-Aid on any problem. We want to see long-lasting change, and United Way only supports, and when I say United Way, I really mean the community.
Sure.
Because United Way is a community-driven approach.
Sure.
United Way only exists with the community. Now, we are a small staff at United Way, and we're boots on the ground, making sure that things, logistics happen and whatnot. But it really is. It's the Terrys and Nayers and all of our friends out there that are making sure it happened. But anyway, I know I got off subject a little bit, but that is.
You just take this thing wherever you want to go. So, Terry, I want to ask your favorite story in a little different way. Since you've been the chair the 2 times, maybe more along the lines of the joys of and challenges of serving as chair when it comes to favorite stories.
The story I will tell is that, when you run a campaign, I don't think anybody likes to ask for money, right?
Sure.
But when you start to put it into simple terms, and I had a loan executive sit with me when I was running the campaign the first time. His name was John Boston. And John put it to me in very simple terms. He said, if everybody each day would just give $1, and you do that for 365 days, that's $365 that goes to put in to help an agency to provide a service. And think about what we spend $1 on every day.
Sure. Yeah.
And this community, what impressed me was when I did my first campaign interview, I shared that, and how many people in the community came back and said, that's easy to do. And I would tell you, after we come out of last year and go into this campaign, this community has come together through some difficult times. My expectation of this campaign, it's going to be the best campaign ever.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Because people are going to come together. The campaigns are running in the companies right now, individual campaigns. We're about to do a leadership campaign that Ellen Didier's kicking off for us. I know that's going to go well.
That'd be low energy, won't it?
Very low energy. But at the same time, what I'm asking of everybody in this community is, it's a time to say, how do we help these agencies continue to provide their services as they come out? And whatever you can do in this campaign will make a difference. There's not $1 to $5 to $2 that wouldn't make a difference.
$1 a day. That's the number. If everyone would just get on board right there.
Yeah, because
make
think about our population.
Sure.
And if everybody did that, this campaign, it would blow the campaign numbers out.
Yeah.
So, Brooke, tell us a little more about what United Way hopes to do over the next 5 years in long-range goals, if you will.
Yeah, sure. Well, again, and to kind of echo what Terry said too, we support programs that make lasting impact, long-lasting impact. Our partner agencies, it's not, it goes more than just putting food on that one time on someone's table. It's making sure that they, break that cycle of poverty, of getting back, of entering the workforce, of being just a productive citizen, and that's exactly what our agencies are doing. And so we, again, what Terry said, this is a great campaign season. This community comes together when our residents and our neighbors need help the most, and we just want to continue providing those vital services.
Yeah, I'd like to add that the other thing United Way does is, in their role, they help the agencies both focus on the services that are needed, but also have the oversight to ensure that as people donate their money, it's going to those services and being executed in an efficient way. And the people that are on those committees are the people of the community. So I'd also tell anybody out there that if you are always, maybe you're questioning yourself, well, is United Way efficient or not? Come join one of the committees. See how it works. Volunteer your time, because you'll actually see in a very efficient process for making sure the dollars go from the giver to the service to the person who needs the service.
So that's the perfect segue to a note that I made that is not in my notes. I just added. So we talk about the number of agencies that's supported, but boy, someone doesn't just come in and say, we would like to be supported by United Way, and y'all say, okay, great, we're glad you're here. So there's a vetting process that goes through.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you speak a little bit to how that works?
Yes, we have, it's called the allocation process, and we have a team of community volunteers. We welcome anyone who's interested. It's actually a great way to learn exactly what the partner agencies are doing. But every partner agency has to apply for funding annually. Our allocation team, this group of community volunteers, they come together. They look at every single application that comes in. It is not an easy process. In fact, it's challenging, and they have to make sometimes some hard decisions. And I mean, they look at audit reports, the finances, the level of outcomes, the impact, vital. I could go on and on. It is, again, it's over the course of a couple of months, and this team comes together and makes those decisions on funding.
But they also have to fit within. Is it education? Is it quality of life?
Yes.
Is it supporting in disaster relief? And so there's buckets that United Way has, and each of those programs have to fit within those buckets and provide those services.
That's great.
Yep.
So I want to try to go into this next part with the fund that it's intended to be, okay? I guess and I'm a Rotarian,
Yeah.
Terry, you're a Rotarian, then we have Kiwanis, and Kiwanis, they do the Pancake Day,
Oh, yeah.
and man, they really excel in fundraising and Pancake Day, and then Rotarians are looking for a way to try to do a little better job of in our fundraising efforts. But I'm going somewhere with this as it relates to United Way. Now, the Kiwanis Club, they have these two guys, past mayor Lynn Fowler, and then a guy named Tommy Daniels, that really are, it's questionable whether or not it's strong arm tactics in the way that they go about their fundraising. But I mean, they just do a phenomenal job
They do.
in fundraising, but all for the kids.
Yes.
It's all about the kids and what they do. Now, there's been an organization here, a company here in town, I believe it's really led the way when it comes to fundraising for United Way. Is that Daikin?
Yes, it is.
Daikin?
It's Daikin.
Yeah. Now, how is someone going to knock them off the top and become that?
See, I think that's the challenge.
Yeah.
That's when I'll go back. When I was a site leader, that was our challenge.
Was
You
to
got to
knock-
have a goal.
Yeah.
How do we make equal or do better than Daikin?
Yeah.
And that's the fun in it, is that companies and corporations and organizations make it fun, because the dollars are going to go and have an impact.
Sure.
And Mayor, you bring up, Kiwanis. They've got right now. Everybody else is looking to them to figure out how to do it.
And I'm in Kiwanis, so.
But they do it again. It's about the kids, right? For them, for
Oh, yeah.
Kiwanis.
Yeah, for Kiwanis.
Oh, yeah.
For Kiwanis. And for y'all, it's about how do we help all the agencies who's helping whatever the need may be, but it's about doing it with some fun and some competition, having some different strategies.
And where we see a lot of it is in the Day of Caring. The companies that come out to do the Day of Caring, they're all trying to one-up themselves in what they do for the agencies.
Yeah.
And I think Daikin has set the tone for United Way in fundraising. And I challenge every company out there that's in it, and we got a strong industry base here. This is an opportunity for us to make this campaign coming out of a very difficult year, a strong campaign, probably the best campaign ever, so that each organization can take those programs that they had to adjust, be flexible on, agile on, allow them to bring the new programs that they want in place so that we continue to improve the quality of life of this community that we live in.
Great.
Absolutely.
Listen, thank y'all so much for joining us. Thank you for what you're doing. You do it every day. I know whenever you get committed to something, you're probably doing it every day as well. But thank you for sharing this year. To our viewers, we certainly appreciate you joining us today. We want to invite you to text Decatur to 42828 to sign up for the city's digital newsletter. That's Decatur to 42828. And until next time, be safe and please be kind. Thank you.